Please don't let my baby die. I'll work for free. Just don't take my insurance. The desperate prayer echoes through Megamart's employee bathroom, while 20 feet away, the man who just signed her termination papers sits in his Bentley, counting millions. Marcus Thompson's phone glows with tonight's numbers: 2.3 million profit, 67% labor cost reduction, another record-breaking quarter. The anonymous email from 3 weeks ago burns in his memory. Your janitor's daughter needs heart surgery. You just cut her hours to save 187. She's crying in your bathroom right now. He thought it was a lie, a disgruntled employee's manipulation. But here, at 11:47 p.m. in his Chicago flagship store, those broken sobs are real. The woman cleaning his toilets for $7.25 an hour doesn't know her billionaire boss is listening, doesn't know he's spent 3 weeks training his voice to sound like a dying man's whisper, doesn't know he's about to walk through that door dressed like a homeless vagrant. What Marcus Thompson doesn't know is that this crying janitor is just the first domino. Behind her, tears lies a network of systematic cruelty that will destroy everything he believes about his empire. In 60 seconds, a CEO worth $3.2 billion will meet Maria Rodriguez, and both their worlds will shatter. The bathroom door creaks like a coffin lid as Marcus pushes it open. Maria Rodriguez kneels on the cold tile floor, her Megamart janitor uniform soaked with tears and splattered with bleach that makes his designer-trained nostrils burn. She's clutching a crumpled pink paper, the termination notice he'd signed in his climate-controlled office just 3 hours ago, part of a workforce optimization that would save exactly $4,847 per month. Isabella needs her surgery next month, she whispers to no one, rocking back and forth. 6 years old. Her little heart can't wait anymore. The words dissolve into Spanish prayers that need no translation. A mother's desperate bargaining with God. Marcus clears his throat, the practiced rasp he's perfected over 3 weeks of training. Ma'am? You okay? Maria's head snaps up, revealing eyes swollen nearly shut, cheeks that tell the story of hours spent crying. She scrambles backward like a wounded animal. I'm sorry, I'm leaving. Please don't call security. The fear in her voice hits Marcus like a physical blow. When did his employees start cowering like beaten dogs? I'm just James, he manages, pulling his hood lower, hunching his shoulders in the submissive posture his acting coach taught him. Looking for somewhere dry to sleep. Heard you crying. The transformation is remarkable. Maria's terror melts into something worse. Recognition of shared misery. You're homeless? Oh, honey. Even drowning in her own tragedy, she reaches into her pocket and pulls out 3 crumpled dollar bills. Here, there's a 24-hour McDonald's 2 blocks down. Marcus stares at the money. This woman who just lost everything offering her last $3 to a stranger. His throat constricts with something that has nothing to do with his fake voice. Keep it. But what happened? They cut me from full-time to 15 hours a week. No benefits. Maria's voice breaks. 37 other janitors, too. My Isabella, she needs heart surgery. Without insurance, it's $50,000. Where does someone like me get $50,000? The bathroom door slams open. Brad Harrison fills the doorway like a designer-suited demon, his Rolex catching the fluorescent light. Marcus recognizes him from corporate photos, the regional manager whose cost-cutting excellence earned him a $200,000 bonus last year. Still here, Maria? Brad's voice drips contempt. Your shift ended 3 hours ago. That's theft of company time. Mr. Harrison, please, I was just... Save it. And who's this? Brad's eyes scan Marcus with the kind of disgust usually reserved for something stuck to his shoe. Great. Now we have vagrants in the bathroom. Maria, get this trash out of here, or I'll call the police on both of you. Marcus watches Maria struggle to her feet, sees her hands shake as she grabs her mop bucket. Yes, Mr. Harrison. I'm sorry, Mr. Harrison. And Maria, your last check will be docked for the 3 hours you've stolen tonight. Consider yourself lucky I don't prosecute. Brad straightens his tie, a $400 Hermes that costs more than Maria makes in a week. Oh, and tell the others, anyone caught crying on company property will be terminated immediately. This is a place of business, not a therapy session. He stalks away, leaving the smell of expensive cologne and cruelty. Maria begins mopping around Marcus, her movements automatic, broken. You should go, she whispers. He means it about the police. They arrested the last homeless man for criminal trespassing. He died in county lockup waiting for trial. Marcus helps her steady the bucket with hands that want to shake with rage. The others. He said 37 others? All of us with sick family members. All of us who used our insurance too much. Maria's laugh is bitter as battery acid. Mr. Harrison calls it pruning the weak branches, says it's just natural selection in the workplace. Through the bathroom's small window, Marcus can see his Bentley in the parking lot, see the corporate tower rising in the distance where men like Brad make decisions that shatter lives for quarterly bonuses. 3 weeks ago, he thought he ran an ethical company. Tonight, listening to Maria's broken breathing as she mops around bloodstains from where she bit her own hand to stop screaming, Marcus Thompson realizes he's been ruling over an empire built on suffering. And Brad Harrison has no idea that the homeless trash he just threatened is about to become his worst nightmare. The next 18 hours teach Marcus Thompson what 3 decades in boardrooms never could. He follows Maria through the pre-dawn darkness to the employee entrance, where 37 janitors huddle like refugees, comparing termination notices and medication costs. Their supervisor, a nervous man named Pete, who reeks of cigarette smoke and fear, assigns Marcus to warehouse duty. Brad's orders, all new hires start in the freezer. The freezer, where employees eat lunch because Brad has locked the break room to prevent theft. Marcus watches Kevin Martinez, a computer science graduate drowning in $80,000 of student loans, wolf down a frozen sandwich between inventory scans. His fingers are turning blue, but leaving the freezer means losing the job that's his only hope of ever escaping debt. 3 years I've been here, Kevin mutters through chattering teeth. 3 years of promises. Work hard, we'll promote you. Last week, Brad hired his nephew for the IT position I trained for. Kid doesn't know Python from a python, but he's family. By noon, Marcus has documented 17 labor violations on his phone, hidden in a broken Bluetooth speaker. The camera captures Sarah Williams, 7 months pregnant, struggling to lift boxes that would challenge a linebacker. When she pauses to catch her breath, Brad materializes like a vulture. Performance issues again, Sarah? His voice could freeze hell. Maybe motherhood isn't compatible with Megamart values. Please, Mr. Harrison, the doctor said I need to be careful, The doctor doesn't pay your salary. I do. Well, for now. Brad makes a note on his tablet. Consider this your final warning. 1 more slip, and you can explain to your baby why mommy couldn't keep a simple job. Marcus's fists clench so tight his nails draw blood. But James, the homeless man, just keeps mopping, invisible as furniture. The acting coach was right. Poverty makes you disappear. The revelation comes during the 3 p.m. shift change. Marcus discovers a hidden room behind the loading dock where Brad conducts his real business. Receipts for inventory marked damaged that Brad sells to his cousin's discount store. Time cards doctored to shave hours. A spreadsheet titled Termination Targets with employee names ranked by healthcare costs. Maria Rodriguez, $47,000. Daughter, cardiac surgery. Kevin Martinez, $12,000. Therapy for depression. Sarah Williams, $35,000. High-risk pregnancy. The list goes on. 43 names marked for termination, all with medical conditions. Brad's bonus structure rewards him $5,000 for every $100,000 saved in labor costs. He's turned human suffering into a profit center. Fascinating reading? Marcus spins to find Brad blocking the doorway, flanked by 2 security guards. But Brad's smirk falters. Something in Marcus's eyes, perhaps. The careful mask has slipped for just a second, revealing something Brad's reptilian brain recognizes as dangerous. "Sorry, sir. I was just looking for cleaning supplies," Marcus rasps, forcing his shoulders to slump, his eyes to the floor. "Sure you were." Brad steps closer, cologne assault aggressive as his presence. "You know what I think? I think you're a spy. Maybe union, maybe corporate. Either way, you're done." The security guards move forward, but Marcus has already palmed the USB drive containing photos of the documents. 3 weeks of pickpocket lessons paying off. Wait. Maria appears in the doorway, mop bucket in hand. "He's with me. My responsibility. Please, Mr. Harrison, he's just confused. Homeless people, they wander sometimes." Brad's laugh could strip paint. Maria, still trying to save everyone? That's what got your husband killed, wasn't it? Playing hero at that construction site?" The temperature drops 20 degrees. Maria's face transforms, grief and rage warring beneath the surface. "Don't you dare! Oh, I dare! I know everything about my employees, like how Isabella's condition is genetic, your fault. And now you want the company to pay for your defective genes?" Brad leans in close. "Natural selection, Maria. The weak die so the strong survive. It's just business." The silence stretches taut as piano wire. Then Maria does something extraordinary. She laughs, not bitter, not broken, clear and bright as church bells. "You think you're strong, Mr. Harrison? You think stealing from the poor makes you powerful?" She sets down her mop with deliberate calm. "I've cleaned up after truly powerful men who built things instead of breaking them. You're just a parasite, and parasites always get crushed when the body finally wakes up." Brad's face purples. "You're fired, both of you. Security, escort this trash." "Actually," Marcus interrupts, still in character but with steel beneath the rasp, "we'll see ourselves out. But first, a question. That spreadsheet. Do the executives know you're targeting employees based on medical conditions? Because that sounds like a lawsuit worth, about $50 million. The bluff lands perfectly. Brad freezes, calculating. He doesn't know how much the homeless man saw. Can't risk exposure. "Get out. If I see either of you again, I'll have you arrested." As they're escorted through the store, past aisles of abundance that mock the poverty of those who stock them, Kevin Martinez catches Marcus's eye. A tiny nod. He's been recording on his phone, too. Sarah Williams gives a subtle thumbs up from behind a display. The resistance has been building. They just needed a spark. In the parking lot, Maria turns to Marcus. "That was stupid. Brad doesn't make empty threats. You need to disappear." "What about you? Isabella?" Maria's smile breaks his heart. "I'll figure something out. I always do. But something tells me you're not really homeless. Whatever you're doing here, be careful. Brad Harrison has destroyed bigger men than James the janitor." She walks away, shoulders straight despite everything. Marcus watches her go, then looks back at the Megamart sign blazing against the darkening sky. In 48 hours, there's a regional managers meeting. Every store leader, the district executives, and, if Marcus plays his cards right, 200 witnesses to Brad Harrison's destruction. The USB drive burns in his pocket like a coal of justice. Time to fan it into a wildfire. The Hyatt Regency ballroom gleams with corporate excess. Crystal chandeliers, gold-trimmed everything. 200 regional managers gorging on surf and turf while their employees skip meals. Marcus Thompson sits in his Bentley outside, watching Brad Harrison work the room through the floor-to-ceiling windows, glad-handing and backslapping like a politician. The plan is simple. The execution will be surgical. Inside, Brad commands the stage, his PowerPoint displaying record-breaking numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, the Harrison method has revolutionized workforce efficiency. By eliminating redundancies, he means humans, we've achieved a 67% reduction in labor costs while maintaining productivity. Applause ripples through the room. The district VP, a silver-haired vulture named Richard Blackstone, beams approval. Brad, you're what every manager should aspire to be. In fact, I'm recommending you for the National Excellence Award, $50,000 bonus, plus promotion to divisional. Marcus checks his phone. Kevin Martinez is in position at the AV booth, having talked his way in as tech support. Sarah Williams waits in the lobby with 14 other employees, all victims of Brad's natural selection. And Maria Rodriguez stands by the service entrance, Isabella's hospital band visible on her wrist, her daughter barely stabilized on borrowed medication. Time to move. Marcus enters through the kitchen, his 3-week transformation reversed. The Tom Ford suit fits like destiny, his natural commanding presence restored. He nods to Maria as he passes. Whatever happens, keep recording. The ballroom doors swing open just as Brad reaches his crescendo. The future of retail is lean, efficient, and utterly without sentiment. Mr. Harrison, Marcus's voice cuts through like a blade. 200 heads turn. Fascinating presentation. Mind if I add some context? Brad's smile flickers. I'm sorry, this is a private function. Security? Oh, they're busy. Marcus strides down the center aisle, each step measured. Funny thing about security guards, pay them minimum wage, treat them like dirt, and they become remarkably absent. Richard Blackstone rises. Who the hell are you? Someone who's been learning how Megamart really operates. Marcus reaches the stage, turns to face the audience. 3 weeks ago, I received an email. Your employees are dying while you count profits. I thought it was hyperbole. Then I met Maria Rodriguez. The side door opens. Maria enters, pushing Isabella in a wheelchair. The 6-year-old is pale, oxygen tubes in her nose, but her eyes are bright with life. The room shifts uncomfortably. Isabella needs heart surgery, Marcus continues. $50,000. Pocket change for this company. But Mr. Harrison had a better idea. Cut Maria's hours, eliminate her insurance, save the company $187 a week. Multiply that by 37 employees with sick families, and Brad here saved enough to earn his bonus. This is ridiculous, Brad sputters. You can't just barge in here with sob stories. You're right. I need evidence. Marcus pulls out a remote. Kevin? The screens around the room flicker to life. Brad's voice fills the space. Natural selection in the workplace. The weak die so the strong survive. Then the spreadsheet. Names, medical conditions, termination dates. The room gasps collectively. That's illegal, someone whispers. Extremely, Marcus agrees. Also on those servers, doctored time cards, embezzled inventory, kickbacks from suppliers. Mr. Harrison has stolen approximately $3.2 million while forcing employees to choose between medicine and food. Brad lunges for the laptop. This is fake! Deep fake technology! I'll sue every— Brad, Richard Blackstone's voice is ice. Is this true? Richard, you know me. Would I— Answer the question. Brad's facade cracks. Everything I did was for the company. You wanted numbers, I delivered numbers. You never asked how. We never told you to break federal law. Blackstone turns to security. Detain Mr. Harrison. Now. But Brad isn't finished. He wheels on Marcus, desperation making him reckless. You think you're clever? Some bleeding heart liberal playing dress-up? I know who you are now. James the janitor. Corporate sent you to spy, didn't they? Well, guess what? I've got friends on the board. One phone call and you'll be— Marcus? The voice comes from the back of the room. An elderly board member, Eleanor Chen, rises slowly. Marcus Thompson? Is that you? The room freezes. Brad's mouth opens and closes like a fish. Marcus straightens his tie. Hello, Eleanor. Sorry I missed the last board meeting. I was conducting field research. Thompson? Blackstone chokes. As in, CEO Thompson? The same. Marcus turns back to the stunned audience. The man you've been applauding tonight called me homeless trash. Made me mop floors while he counted stolen money. But more importantly, he destroyed families for profit margins. The silence is deafening. Then, from the wheelchair, Isabella's small voice. Are you really the boss of everyone? Marcus kneels beside her. I own the company, sweetheart, which means I owe you and your mom an apology. You can't do this, Brad explodes. I have contracts, guarantees. I'll destroy you in court. Actually, Kevin Martinez steps from behind the AV booth, holding up a hard drive. You'll have trouble doing that from federal prison. Everything's here. Every crime, every timestamp, every victim. The FBI Cybercrimes Unit should find it fascinating. Sarah Williams enters with the other employees. One by one, they share their stories. The woman fired while undergoing chemotherapy. The man terminated for taking bereavement leave. The teenager let go for reporting sexual harassment. Each testimony another nail in Brad's coffin. But the killing blow comes from Maria. She steps forward, dignity wrapped around her like armor. Mr. Harrison told me my daughter's illness was my fault. Bad genes, he said. Nature taking its course. She looks directly at Brad, who has shrunk into himself. But you know what? Isabella is the strongest person I know. She fights every day with more courage than you've shown in your entire life. That's not weak. That's power you'll never understand. The room erupts, managers shouting, phones ringing, Brad screaming about lawyers while security drags him away. Through the chaos, Marcus's voice rings clear. Effective immediately, every terminated employee is reinstated with full back pay. Healthcare restored retroactively. And Mr. Harrison's entire bonus fund will be distributed among the workers he terrorized. Richard Blackstone, desperate to salvage something, steps forward. Mr. Thompson, surely we can discuss this privately. No more privacy. No more closed doors. Marcus gestures to the cameras Kevin has been operating. This entire meeting is being streamed live. Transparency starts now. The laptop shows the viewer count. 2.3 million and climbing. Marcus Thompson, CEO, already trending. The revolution will be televised after all. The ballroom erupts into chaos, but Marcus isn't done. As security drags Brad toward the exit, the disgraced manager breaks free with animal desperation. You want the truth? Fine! His voice cracks like a whip. Everything I did, I learned from you people. The room freezes. Brad stands center stage, disheveled and wild-eyed, but suddenly dangerous in his clarity. Richard, tell them about Phoenix. Brad points at Blackstone. Tell them how you coached me to fire single mothers first because they miss too much work. Tell them about the seminars where you taught us to schedule just under full time to avoid benefits. I have recordings, emails, everything. Blackstone pales. Brad, you're clearly disturbed. Am I? Brad laughs maniacally. Check your phones, everyone. Check your emails right now. Kevin Martinez's fingers fly over his laptop. Holy shit. He's not bluffing. He just sent 5 gigabytes of files to every manager here. And to the Wall Street Journal. The room explodes as 200 phones light up simultaneously. Managers scroll through emails, faces draining of color. Training documents on benefits avoidance strategies. Recorded conference calls discussing liability reduction through strategic termination. An entire playbook of systematic cruelty, signed and endorsed by senior leadership. You see? Brad's triumph is Pyrrhic but complete. I'm not the disease. I'm just the symptom. This whole company is built on grinding people into paste for profit. Eleanor Chen, the board member, stands slowly. Her voice cuts through the panic. Mr. Thompson, were you aware of these practices? Marcus faces her, the weight of 3 weeks crushing down. No, but ignorance isn't innocence. I built this company. I chose these leaders. I celebrated the numbers without questioning the methods. He turns to Maria. I'm as guilty as anyone. Bullshit. Maria steps forward, Isabella's hand in hers. You're here. You went undercover. You're trying to fix it. That's the difference between you and them. Trying isn't enough. Then do more. Isabella's voice is small, but fierce. My mom says heroes don't just fight bad guys. They fix what's broken. The room holds its breath. Marcus looks at the 6-year-old with her oxygen tubes and fierce eyes, then at the managers frantically deleting emails, at Brad being recuffed by security, at Richard Blackstone trying to sneak toward the exit. Nobody leaves. Marcus's CEO voice fills the space. Richard, sit down. Everyone, phones on the tables. Now. You can't hold us here. I own this company. I own this building. I own the very air you're breathing. Marcus loosens his tie. And as of this moment, I'm exercising my rights as majority shareholder to dissolve the entire regional management structure. Gasps ripple through the room. Someone shouts, You can't fire all of us. I'm not firing you. I'm giving you a choice. Marcus gestures to Maria and the employees. Each of you will be reassigned to work the floor of your stores for 30 days. Minimum wage, no benefits. Experience what you've been dishing out. After 30 days, those who survive can reapply for management positions, with a board review including employee representatives. This is insane, Blackstone explodes. The board will never— The board will do exactly what I tell them, Eleanor Chen interrupts. Because if they don't, I'll personally ensure the FBI gets every document Brad just released. Richard, did you really think we didn't know? We were giving you rope to hang yourself. Mr. Thompson's investigation just accelerated the timeline. The revelation hits like a thunderbolt. This wasn't just Marcus's operation. The board had been investigating too. Brad laughs bitterly from handcuffs. Perfect. The kings sacrifice the pawns. Nothing changes. You're wrong. Marcus pulls out his phone. Kevin, is the stream still live? 2.7 million viewers and climbing. Good. Marcus faces the camera. To everyone watching, employees, customers, competitors, this is my promise. Megamart changes tonight. Not tomorrow, not next quarter. Tonight. Every person Brad Harrison destroyed gets made whole. Every practice exposed gets eliminated. And if I can't fix this company, I'll burn it down and build something better from the ashes. He turns back to the room. Starting with Isabella Rodriguez's surgery. Fully funded. Best doctors, effective immediately. And Maria Rodriguez is Megamart's new vice president of employee relations. Maria staggers. I don't have a degree. You have something better. You know what it's like to be crushed by the system. Help me build one that lifts people instead. The room watches, stunned, as the janitor and the CEO shake hands. But the real image that goes viral is Isabella reaching up to hug Marcus, her small voice carrying across the silent ballroom. "Mommy, the sad man is crying." And he is. For the first time in 20 years, Marcus Thompson is crying. Not for what was lost, but for what can still be saved. The next 6 hours rewrite Megamart's DNA in real time. Marcus transforms the Hyatt ballroom into a war room, Eleanor Chen calling emergency board meetings while Kevin Martinez coordinates with IT teams across the country. The live stream keeps rolling, accountability in pixels and bandwidth. "Legal on line 1, Maria announces, still adjusting to her new reality. She's traded her janitor uniform for a borrowed blazer, but her authority needs no costume. They're panicking about the lawsuits. Let them panic. Marcus signs another reinstatement order. Tell legal their new job is protecting employees, not the company. If they can't handle that, they can join Brad in the unemployment line. By 3 a.m., the transformation is seismic. Every illegally terminated employee, reinstated with full back pay, minimum wage, raised to $25 an hour effective immediately, health insurance, universal, including part-time workers. The board votes unanimously, Eleanor's glare ensuring no dissent. Richard Blackstone sits in the corner, stripped of authority, watching his empire crumble. You'll bankrupt us, he mutters. The shareholders will revolt. Wrong again. Marcus pulls up real-time trading data. Stocks up 12% in after-hours trading. Turns out investors like companies that don't make headlines for destroying families. Who knew? The real poetry comes when they process Brad's files. $3.2 million in embezzled funds, hidden in offshore accounts. Forensic accountants work through the night, every stolen dollar tracked and flagged for return. Sir? A nervous analyst approaches. We found something else. Mr. Harrison was selling employee medical data to insurance companies. They were using it to deny coverage applications. The room goes silent. Even in this night of revelations, some depths still shock. Add it to the FBI file, Marcus says quietly, and find every employee affected. Full medical coverage, lifetime, no questions asked. Sarah Williams, now Director of Employee Wellness, coordinates the emergency fund. Isabella's surgery is scheduled for tomorrow morning. Dr. Reeves at Northwestern, the best pediatric cardiac surgeon in the country. Maria breaks down completely. Through tears, she manages, how do I ever? You don't owe anyone anything, Marcus cuts her off. This isn't charity. It's justice delayed. The night's most satisfying moment comes at 5:47 a.m. Brad Harrison, in federal custody, tries one last manipulation. His lawyer offers a deal. Brad will return the stolen money and testify against other executives in exchange for reduced charges. Marcus considers for exactly 3 seconds. No. Mr. Thompson, be reasonable. He terrorized a 6-year-old with a heart condition. He made mothers choose between medicine and food. He built a system that crushes humans for quarterly bonuses. Marcus's voice could freeze hell. Brad Harrison gets nothing. He stole $3.2 million? He'll pay back $6.4. Double damages, plus interest, plus pain and suffering for every employee he touched. And he does it from a federal prison cell. The lawyer stammers about cruel and unusual punishment. Marcus simply points to the screen showing Isabella in her hospital bed. Talk to me about cruelty after you've mopped floors for $7.25 an hour while your child dies. As dawn breaks over Chicago, the impossible becomes reality. 200 regional managers report to their stores, name tags reading trainee, learning what a real day's work means. Some quit within hours. Others discover empathy they'd buried under ambition. The one who surprises everyone is Richard Blackstone. After 8 hours of stocking shelves, he approaches Marcus with shaking hands. I had no idea. The physical pain, the exhaustion, the customers treating you like furniture. He looks broken, but somehow more human. I want to help fix this. Really fix it. Prove it, Marcus challenges. Stay on the floor for the full 30 days. Then we'll talk. The morning's crowning moment arrives via video call. Isabella Rodriguez, pre-surgery, grins at the camera. Mr. Marcus, Mom says you're making sure nobody else gets sick like me without help. Is that true? That's the plan, sweetheart. Good. When I'm better, I'm gonna help too. Mom says I can be a helper like you when I grow up. Marcus chokes up. You already are, Isabella. You already are. Across the country, Megamart stores transform. Employee break rooms unlock. Schedules stabilize. Managers who survived their floor time return humbled and humanized. The Harrison method dies, replaced by something revolutionary, treating workers like human beings. The FBI raids begin at noon, synchronized across 17 states. Executives perp-walked, files seized, an entire culture of cruelty dismantled piece by piece. Brad Harrison's mugshot becomes the poster child for corporate greed gone rabid. But the image that truly goes viral is Maria Rodriguez, former janitor, now VP, standing at a podium addressing Megamart's workforce via satellite. We were invisible. We were expendable. We were natural selection. But we survived. And now, we thrive. Welcome to the new Megamart. Welcome home. 1 month later, the Roosevelt Hotel conference room hosts an unprecedented gathering. 15 Fortune 500 CEOs sit uncomfortably in folding chairs, watching Marcus Thompson's presentation. The true cost of profit. The video shows Isabella Rodriguez running for the first time post-surgery, her laughter worth more than quarterly earnings. Megamart's stock is up 43%, Marcus states simply. Employee turnover dropped from 67 to 8%. Productivity increased 30%. Turns out when people don't fear starvation, they work better. Revolutionary concept. Target's CEO, Jennifer Walsh, shifts nervously. But the initial costs were recovered in 6 weeks through reduced training expenses alone. Maria Rodriguez, polished but still fierce, takes over. When you stop treating workers as disposable, you stop hemorrhaging talent and money. The real bombshell drops when Marcus reveals the industry-wide audit his team conducted. 47 major retailers using variations of the Harrison method, 12 million workers affected, estimated wage theft, $16 billion annually. Silence. Then Walmart's executive speaks. If we don't change voluntarily, then you change involuntarily. Eleanor Chen enters with a congressional delegation. The Thompson Act passed committee yesterday. Mandatory living wages, criminal penalties for wage theft, CEOs personally liable for systematic abuse. The vote is next week. The dominoes fall fast. Amazon announces $20 minimum wage within hours. Costco expands benefits. Target creates an employee profit-sharing program. The race to avoid legislation becomes a race to the top. But the revolution's heart beats in smaller moments. Kevin Martinez, now Megamart's chief technology officer, develops an app allowing anonymous reporting of abuse. First day, 3,000 reports across the industry. Each one investigated, validated, addressed. Sarah Williams's maternal leave program becomes the industry gold standard. 6 months paid. Both parents, no exceptions. When critics cry about costs, she simply shows the retention rates. 96% of new parents return, loyal beyond measure. The Harvard Business School case study drops like a bomb. The Marcus method, how ethical leadership drove 400% returns. Professor Ann Liu dissects the numbers. Traditional thinking says treating workers well hurts profits. Megamart proved that's not just wrong, it's economically suicidal. The resistance comes from predictable corners. Brad Harrison, from federal prison, gives a Fox Business interview claiming he's a scapegoat for woke capitalism. It backfires spectacularly when Maria responds with a simple tweet. Brad made $2.3 million destroying families. I made $15,000 cleaning his messes. Who's the real capitalist? 3 months post-revolution, Marcus addresses the National Retail Federation. The audience, once hostile, now curious, listens as he shows the numbers. Megamart's profits haven't just survived, they've exploded. Customer loyalty through the roof. Employee innovation programs generating millions in efficiency improvements. You called it bleeding heart liberalism, Marcus says. I call it basic math. Healthy workers work better. Secure families spend more. Loyal employees innovate. This isn't charity. It's the best investment you'll ever make. The standing ovation starts in the back. Hourly workers who snuck in to watch. It spreads forward like wildfire until even the most cynical executives are on their feet. The moment that breaks the internet comes from an unexpected source. Richard Blackstone, the former VP who spent 30 days stocking shelves, addresses his first management meeting. I used to see numbers, now I see faces. The teenager saving for college, the grandmother raising grandkids, the veteran fighting PTSD. Each one has a story that matters more than margins. His proposal: mandatory floor rotation for all executives, monthly, no exceptions. We can't lead what we don't understand. The vote is unanimous. By year's end, the transformation is undeniable. The Thompson Act passes with bipartisan support. Wage theft prosecutions skyrocket. Executive bonuses tied to employee welfare become standard. The Harrison method joins child labor and company towns in history's dustbin. But the image that defines the movement isn't corporate or political. It's Isabella Rodriguez, fully recovered, teaching other sick children in Megamart's new on-site daycare. She wears a tiny name tag, Assistant Helper. My mom says everyone deserves someone who fights for them, she explains to a reporter. So that's what I do now. I fight for kids like me. Behind her, visible through the window, Maria and Marcus review expansion plans for employee wellness centers. Former janitor and billionaire CEO, building something America forgot was possible. A company that serves humanity instead of consuming it. The revolution wasn't televised after all. It was lived, one worker at a time, until it became too powerful to stop. 2 years later, The Thompson-Rodriguez Leadership Academy rises from Chicago's South Side, glass and steel, where abandoned warehouses once rotted. Marcus Thompson and Maria Rodriguez cut the ribbon together, Isabella holding the giant scissors with them, her heart beating strong and steady. "This is where we train the next generation," Maria tells the crowd of enrollees, former minimum wage workers selected for management development. Not to maximize profits, but to maximize humanity. Inside, the first classroom bears a bronze plaque. The Brad Harrison Memorial Hall of What Not to Do. His mugshot hangs prominently beside charts showing the human cost of greed. He's serving 15 years, his fortune distributed among victims, his name synonymous with corporate evil. Marcus teaches the opening seminar himself. Leadership isn't about being above people. It's about lifting them with you. He points to a photo on the wall, himself mopping floors in a torn hoodie. 3 weeks undercover taught me more than 30 years in boardrooms. The janitor sees everything. The cashier knows your customers. The warehouse worker understands efficiency. Listen to them. The academy's first graduate? Kevin Martinez's younger sister, Sophia, who goes on to transform a struggling retail chain using principles that now seem obvious. Pay fairly, treat kindly, profit will follow. Richard Blackstone, reformed and humbled, funds scholarships for children of retail workers. "I stole their parents' time and dignity," he says at the dedication. "I can't give that back, but I can give their kids a future." Sarah Williams's twins play in Megamart's flagship daycare while she revolutionizes industry standards from the boardroom. Her Pregnancy Isn't Illness campaign destroys decades of discrimination. When asked her secret, she laughs. "I remember what it felt like to lift boxes while 7 months pregnant. That memory guides every policy I write." But the story's true ending lives in smaller moments. The single father who can afford insulin and rent. The teenager who stays in school because mom's job provides stability. The grandmother who retires with dignity instead of dying at a register. Isabella Rodriguez, now 8, writes another school essay. This time, the title reads, "How My Mom and Her Friend Fixed America." Her conclusion: some people think power means making others feel small, but real power is making others feel big. My mom was a janitor. Now she's a boss. But she's the same person. She just has more people to help. That's what America should be. Everyone helping everyone else get bigger. Marcus reads it in his office, the same one where he once signed Maria's termination. The irony isn't lost on him. Outside, Chicago sprawls beneath floor-to-ceiling windows, but he's not looking at numbers anymore. He's watching the people. His phone buzzes with a text from Maria. "New crisis. Discovered regional manager in Dallas pulling a Harrison. Handle it?" His response: "On my way. Some lessons need repeating." He grabs his old hoodie from the closet, kept as a reminder, and heads for the door. The war for corporate humanity is never truly won, only fought daily in 1,000 small battles. But as Marcus passes the academy, sees former janitors learning Excel beside former executives learning empathy, he knows something fundamental has shifted. The old way is dying, gasping its last breaths in courthouse halls and unemployment lines. The new way? It looks like Isabella Rodriguez, heart repaired, teaching other sick kids that they matter. It sounds like Maria's voice echoing through boardrooms. "We see you. We value you. We rise together." It feels like hope. Messy, imperfect, utterly human hope. The kind that transforms janitors into leaders and CEOs into servants. The kind that reminds America what it was always supposed to be.